Hello and welcome to another edition of Lab Rats, that show that demystifies technology and makes sense of all those weird acronyms and the technologies and the internets and all that stuff. My name's Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
And today on the show, speaking of weird terms and stuff like that, we're going to kind of demystify something that's become relatively popular in the last few years, well, last year or so, I suppose.
Relatively, I think, is the key term there.
It's kind of a geek term.
It's a geek term. It's an enthusiast sort of technology, but we've had people asking about it, so.
It is?
eSATA.
eSATA. It sounds like a sandwich or something.
I have my eSATA on rye. I don't know. I'll think about it.
All
It does definitely not sound like something that you want to put in your mouth, though.
Fair enough. All right, so today eSATA is a technology, right, that plugs externally into your computer, primarily for external hard drives.
For external hard drives, yes.
So we're going to demystify that for you. We're going to explain what eSATA means and show you why you might even consider using the technology on your own computer at home.
And whether or not you want mustard with that.
Absolutely. That's today on Lab Rats. Well, welcome back to Lab Rats. And before we get started and get into the meat of eSATA, I want to remind you, if you want a domain name, andywalker.com, seancarruthers.com, yourname.com, anything.com, go check out hover.com, which has amazing ways to register your domain names and do more with them. And you can get a 10% off with this promo code right here. All right, let's get on with it. eSATA, Sean.
eSATA. All right, so people are asking, what is eSATA? Why do I care? And so people may have heard of SATA. People may not have heard it, so let's explain what that is first of all. So when you're hooking your hard drive up to your computer, a lot of us use external technologies. So we've got a USB drive or a Firewire drive or something like that. But drives also connect to the internal of your computer. So if you've got a desktop computer, there's a hard drive inside, so that you need to connect it some way. So one of the more recent ways was called SATA, or serial ATA.
So before that was, and people may remember this, IDE or eIDE. So SATA more or less has replaced that technology,
yes,
giving a faster connection to internal hard drives.
Pretty much. So it's up to 3 gigabits per second. Now it's 6 gigabits is coming. So it's really, really peppy. So,
right. And we need that, right? Because we're moving enormous amounts of data inside these machines now.
Yes.
There's hard drives that are containing high definition content, all kinds of multimedia information. So we really needed a connection technology that was going to allow that massive throughput.
Exactly.
Right.
So people have been thinking, okay, so SATA is really great inside your computer. It uses these little cables here, nice red cables for the most part, and a little L-shaped connector that you can hook up to your drive, so you always hook it up properly.
Right.
Nice and skinny so that you can twist it around corners and whatnot without worrying about breaking it.
Sure.
So they thought, okay, so it's really fast inside. Why don't I just hook up my external drives that way and be nice and fast outside the computer as well, which is eSATA, external serial ATA.
Now what's ATA stand for again?
Advanced Technology Attachment, I think.
There you go. Yeah, you're right.
So it's really something, it doesn't make sense to most people, but whatever. ATA.
ATA, got it. All right, good stuff. All right, so this is a technology designed to attach an external hard drive as well as an internal hard drive. Right. Well, sorry. Yeah. SATA is internal. eSATA is external.
So the concept is the same, but there are some basic differences on it. So now the first basic difference on this is the connector is going to be different. So they don't want you hooking the internal connector up to your external drive because of shielding issues and all of that. So we've got 2 different connectors here. The one over here is
the red one?
SATA. The red one is SATA, so it's got the L-shaped connector. That's not the case on the external SATA, eSATA. It has 2 prongs on the outside so that you can't put it on a standard SATA hard drive. Just to make sure that you don't mix them up and get everything wrong.
Okay.
All right. So the typical other thing that you'll notice is the eSATA ones are longer. So
sure.
Inside a desktop case, you don't really need a cable that's this long. But outside, if you had one that's this short, well, your external hard drive has to be right next to your computer no matter what. Right? So you've got a longer cable, better shielding, and a different pin.
So why would I want to use eSATA over, say, USB or Firewire?
Well, it's a good question. So the issue really comes down to sustained throughput, I think, in a lot of cases. Now, with USB 2, which is the one that's really popular on most people's machines at this point, it's really good in short bursts.
Right.
But as soon as you have something that's going
Sustained.
sustained for a while, so like a multimedia file, like a movie or something like
Yeah.
that, it starts to get slower and slower and slower.
Right. It's good for like sort of rapid fire pieces of
Right.
content, but not a long, like
Yeah.
4 gig transfer.
Exactly. So if you're transferring like 1,000 photographs that are very small files, it would be a lot. It would be pretty peppy. But they said anything that's just one big file, not so good.
Right.
Right. Firewire is better for that. But Firewire is a little bit more of a niche market on the PC side.
Yeah, I mean, I think
nowadays.
you're seeing it even less and less these days. And most hard drives that are external these days are coming with a USB 2 connector.
Right.
And I think, honestly, Firewire is going to go away unless they do something about it because USB 3 is on its way, right?
USB 3 is on its way. There's products that are out there these days. And again, it suffers the same issue as the regular USB 2. It is really good in short bursts, but anything sustained, it starts to slow down. Now, that said, USB 3.0 still has a really big bandwidth. So it's very fast, even as it's slowing down.
Right.
So it's much better than Firewire in a lot of cases, and it's much better than USB 2.
So under what circumstances would I say choose eSATA? Just if I had lots of big files and I didn't want to bother with Firewire?
Well, it's a more enthusiast sort of thing. So if you're not ready to upgrade to USB 3
So
yet,
if you live in your parents' basement, you don't wash much, then you might want to use eSATA.
you said that.
Yes, okay.
I'm not sure that that's it. Well, here's the
Do you
one
live
thing.
in your mom's basement?
No. No, I do not.
All right.
Here's the reason you might want to do this.
Yeah.
Now, eSATA has been around since about 2004.
Yeah.
So it is an established technology already. Not a lot of people have gotten into it yet, but there are products out there. So we've got hard drives that have eSATA built in. This one's been around for a few years, and you can see down there it's got an eSATA port built into it.
Yeah.
We've got this external dock here, which is USB 2 and eSATA.
So very often then you're getting devices that have both technologies.
Right, and that previous drive we showed also had USB 2 built into it. So the devices are out there. And for example, the Revo we showed off a couple of weeks ago to run our Boxy box.
Yeah.
This also has eSATA built into it right here. So they're devices that are already out there. And for USB 3.0, so far, not yet. And from a testing perspective, we've noticed it's fairly similar from USB 3.0 to eSATA. So they're fairly comparable. So the question is, do you want to get something that hasn't proven itself yet and the new technology for adding it in is going to be potentially expensive?
Right.
Or do you want something that's proven, it's out there, there's a lot of devices available for it? So that's what it comes down to, I think.
Okay. So do you think that this is going to get commercialized? Like, do you think in a way where, my mom may go, Andrew, I really want a 3 terabyte eSATA drive, please. Will she say that, do you think, at some point?
Has she ever asked you for anything USB related?
No.
Then no.
She says, okay.
So I think people that are really into technology are going to learn more about it. Now, it really depends on how well USB 3 takes off.
Sure.
So we're basically talking about a technology that's coming versus one that's already here that's probably on the same level as USB 3. And eSATA is going to speed up as well. So eSATA right now is at 3 gigabits per second transfer. It's going to go to 6 as well. I mean, it won't do that with the technology that's already built into your notebooks and to your Revos and your hard drives. Those will be at the old speed. So if you want the faster one, you'll have to get the new devices.
Right.
But it will speed up as well.
Now, you've done a speed test with the different technologies, right?
I did. So a while back, and the reason why we're doing this is because we did a speed test between Firewire 800 and USB 2 and USB 3.
Yeah.
And people said, well, where's the eSATA? Come on, where is it? I want to see more about eSATA. How does that compare? That's the real question.
You're not going to name him
I'm not going to name names,
All right, fair
but you know what? It is a valid question. Though.
Yeah, okay.
So we did some speed testing again, and we found out that, as I said earlier, the eSATA is more or less on par with USB 3.0, which
okay,
is supposedly faster than this. It's 4,800 megabits per second as opposed to 3,000. So again, it'll slow down and eSATA will come in, even though it's slower, and sort of even it up. And you notice that for the 5.7 gigabyte file, it's actually faster. Actually, it's faster on eSATA for both of them, not by as much.
But a
in some
tiny
cases.
margin, right? So any fluctuation in the environment, in the cable, whatever, and you're going to get...
But potentially, it will always vary a little bit, potentially.
Okay, good. So, so there you go. So eSATA edges out USB 3 just a little bit. So if you want to kind of get ahead of the game, kind of get USB 3 speeds, now, today, in 2010, and not wait for it to become fully commercialized over the next, 12 months or so, then now would be the time to get into eSATA.
Right, and we have a couple of gadgets here. There's a couple devices. First of all, I've got one hooked into my my MacBook here, right here. This is the 2-port SATA Express card from StarTech, and adds 2 eSATA ports. You can put 2 external drives on your system.
Right.
And again, you need the Express card slot on your notebook to
Right.
do that.
Okay,
So if you've got a MacBook, it's good. If you've got a higher-end PC notebook, you've got that. If you've got a desktop machine, there's a PCI Express. Again, we've got one from StarTech. That is basically a PCI Express card.
Nice.
And again, with 2 external slots on the back so that you can connect your drives to it that way.
Very good. Now, you have a tip, though, about, so if you're going to use the external connector, you need to power this device, right? It doesn't come with built-in power, is that correct?
Yeah, so this is what I was mentioning when we were initially talking about this is, well, why don't we just plug the a regular bare drive into...
Straight into the back of your... Yeah.
Well, the thing that we found out, obviously, is that it isn't the same. These are 2 different connectors.
Yeah.
So you could probably jury rig something, but in general what you're going to get is you're going to get a dock or some sort of external device. So we've got the dock here, and we've got the external SATA, or the internal SATA drive here. And you'll notice here that we've got place for the SATA connector, but we've also got a power connector here.
Sure.
So if you just connect it through the SATA connector, even if it's eSATA, you won't be actually powering it.
Drive's not going to work.
It's not going to work. So you need to power it somehow, and that's why you get a dock like this, which in this case it has the power connector built into that. That'll provide the power. Or if you have an external hard drive, it'll come with its own power supply. So
Very good.
you could try jury rigging this to your internal cables without just sliding it in through the outside and then putting a power connector on it somehow. Sounds more messy than it's worth.
I was going to say, so bottom line here is that eSATA really isn't for the masses yet. I think it's probably a niche hobbyist type of technology. Do you think it'll get any kind of market traction at all beyond the enthusiast?
It's hard to say because I've noticed eSATA ports going on the back of, say, your PVRs, anything that takes external storage. So I think there's going to be some small niche things that revolve around video. I think video editors like we do here, it'll be good. Anyone that's streaming anything regularly, whether it's editing or just viewing, for example, high definition content to your TV from that PVR, then I think that might be a good use for it as well. Whether it's going to really take off, hard to say. Let's find out.
All right. Well, that's eSATA from LabRats today. Let's take a break now and hear a couple of messages from our sponsor. And when we come back, of course, our usual end of show features like your pictures and promos from butterscotch.com. So, of course, that's the long and the short of eSATA. And no LabRats episode would complete unless we show you a kind of cool new toy. You got something from LaCie, right?
Yes, LaCie, French for the company.
The company, okay, good.
Yes,
okay.
So we have this drive right here. Now, you might remember back in the day, they released a ruggedized drive that had this orange bumper around the outside, but it was a bit smaller than this.
Yeah.
So very good for portable. But you know what? Sometimes you need a little bit of ruggedness inside as well. So yeah, although you might not want to do that too much if you can avoid it. Anyways, this is called the Rugged XL from LaCie.
Extra large.
How
large?
It's a terabyte for this one. It's about $150. Other models to come, more likely than not.
9 terabyte coming next spring.
9 terabyte, yeah, for sure. Get right on that, will you? You can see on the back it's got the eSATA. It's plugged into my machine right now, transferring this entire episode, in fact, as we're recording it, to this machine.
Wow.
Not really. It's also got USB 2.0. So you do have the option to go backwards to USB 2 if you want to transfer things back and forth. But if you have eSATA, there you go. Much faster.
A toy for you guys out there in the LabRats land who love eSATA and want to get with it right away. Okay, good. We also want to talk about another device, the Acer. What's this thing called?
It is the Acer Aspire Revo.
Right.
This is the one that we showed off with the SATA built in the front.
Well, Andrew Moore-Crispin, our web editor, actually did an episode of Gadget TV that kind of covers actually the slightly better model than this. So let's take a break and have a quick look at that when we come back. Picture time.
Welcome on deck. I'm Matt Harris.
Hi, I'm Jay Goldman.
Welcome to the A-List.
Hi, welcome to Miss Download.
One thing that's really exciting is this HDMI, so you can actually connect it directly to your HD TV. And the look and feel of the computer, along with the just the general styling and the fact that it's so small, means it actually could realistically go beside your HD TV at home. And we see here there's an Ethernet port as well as 4 USB ports on the back.
So you're saying that that device is better than mine?
It is. It has more RAM. It's got a better operating system. I don't know.
But mine's got Ubuntu.
Ubuntu. There you go. Well, there you go. Yes.
Curse you, Andrew Moore Crispin.
Aha. See, he's one step ahead of you all the time. All right, but show us pictures, because now it's picture time. We love picture time. Picture time is fun.
What's
And
this doing here? There we go.
Can we see picture time on your eSATA drive?
I'll just stream it through here.
Okay, good.
There we
Go,
go.
go, go.
So first up, rather
Us.
dim picture. This is taken in a darkened room where someone was watching Lab Rats in home theater mode. This is from our friend Jack, who's in Colorado. Jack, if you remember, was the one that sent us the homemade pizza box cooling stand.
That's right. Nice. Yeah, he's a very innovative young man.
Yeah, so there we go. He's got Lab Rats running on his home theater.
Thank you, Jack.
And we also have here Sean from Missouri put together this little display on his Texas Instruments calculator.
It's a little device hack.
Yeah, a little device.
A happy
hack.
face. You know, actually, there's actually machines out there with color screens now.
Really?
Yeah, color laptop, color calculator.
Calculators.
There you go. All right,
And
if you would like to send your picture to us or your video or anything that you want to show on the show, email it to.
Keep sending things in black and white because 6.339 looks as good in black and white as it does in color at labrats.tv.
Thank you very much. Or very simply,
Feedback at labrats.tv.
that's the easy one to remember. Okay, good. Don't forget, you can get your domains at hover.com. We got a 10% coupon for you right here. We have show notes of this episode and all kinds of other episodes at butterscotch.com. And final thoughts.
Get eSATA. It's rocking.
There you go, especially if you live in your basement. All right, that's it for Lab Rats. Thank you so much for watching this week. It'd be foolish for us to be here if you guys weren't out there push and play. My name's Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
We'll see you next time.
Are you ready? Try this at home.
Now, as you know, we go to the Consumer Electronics Show every year, every January, to check out what's hot, what's new. And of course, this year, we saw, oh God, hundreds of products. Andrew Moore Crispin, our web editor, covered the Revo, what was it, the Revo device, blah, blah?
On Gadget TV.
What?
On Gadget TV.
On Gadget TV.
Yeah, it's on Gadget TV.
Okay.
It's not from CES.
Okay, let's do that again.